Hi everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. I have a serious video coming your way. I was going to say depressing, but I don't want to use that phrasing even though it is depressing, but it's a serious video. Okay. So, I'm on Instagram scrolling and I see this very pretty young lady who's a model come on and say that she was attacked by a man on Sunset Boulevard in, I think, Hollywood, California. I think it's in California, Sunset Boulevard. Anyhow, point is that she was physically attacked, I think, after a nail salon. So the reason why I'm giving these details is just in case you guys find the story, find her video, whatever. And as I was watching her video, because she was like crying and sharing the details and everything, it made me think of what I just mentioned in a previous video about people attacking people, namely women, for oversharing. By the way, I do this a lot in so many videos that when I like pick out the photo for the video or YouTube picks it out for me, oftentimes you'll see me doing this. But anyway, back to the point is that so I'm giving out these details in case you run into it. And I was saying that I just did a video on oversharing or perceived oversharing that actually helps people. I mean, don't get me wrong, some stuff is BS, but some stuff is actually pretty valuable information. And so I'm watching this and it made me think of something I've been wanting to talk about for a while now. So, I want to say within the last few years, there was a video that came out from this guy. He was a black man, and he was warning women about our standards, that if we didn't like give in to men or something, that our lives could be in danger or something. I think it was something along those lines. And I think Shonda and probably a lot more women covered, like, talked about him and stuff, pointing out like, okay, we don't think you're helpful, you sound like you're making excuses for misogyny, etc., when I guess he thought he was being helpful, maybe not. I'd have to rewatch his video to kind of gather what was he trying to do. Was he trying to get us to lower our standards so that he could have a chance? Or was he trying to give some valuable advice of just saying, hey, this is what's happening. You have all these men who don't measure up and they are getting desperate. And as I'm hearing about more violence against women, and let me make this clear in no uncertain terms. I am pro-woman. I am pro-standards. I love that women are leveling up. I love that, I'm all, hey, the only part of me that's like, pick me, if you will, for that I can think of off the top of my head, I'm not a male-identified woman. The only pick me part of me is that I want to be deemed attractive. I know that me being perceived as beautiful is currency in society. And it also could help me find a quality partner and so on and so forth. So I call myself, I'm a self-proclaimed pick-me in that regard. But in terms of me doing things to hurt other women to impress a man, or being male identified, or one of those kind of women, like, no, I'm not one of those. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I hope that makes any sense. But I'm a self-proclaimed pick-me in the sense that, as a morbidly obese woman of nearly 300 pounds at a height of 5'6", I'm rarely deemed attractive by men. You know what I mean? But back to the point, I digress. Here's why I say this. But I have seen people talk about how there are more incidents of violence towards women. I'm seeing people on posts that have to do with a woman being killed or harmed, all of these sick men popping up and basically saying that she got what she deserved. Like if it's a woman who left her husband, then it's like, ha ha ha, she shouldn't have left her husband, da da da. And just like, you know, this, trying to think of like a lynch mob, if you will, towards women. And you know what is upsetting is I feel like women starting to have certain standards for men was like a call for men to do better. And you have so many men who will do anything but work on themselves. They will do anything but work on themselves. You know, when you hear about a guy who is robbing a liquor store or robbing some old person who just took their life savings out of the bank and they're robbing them, you know, like what they call jugging or something, all of these people are people who have decided that they would rather do anything in the effing world than be a decent human being and do better in life and grow. You know, and so it's it's upsetting, but at the same time, I feel like this is a legitimate concern that when men lose access to women, that they will be desperate, not desperate enough to improve themselves, apparently. Not that. Oh no, that's too much. You know, oh, she wants me to get my bread up. No, I don't think I'll do that. But what I will do is try to snatch a woman. You know, what I will do is try to beat on a woman out of my frustration or something. And I'm careful about this in a sense because I don't want it to be interpreted like it's quote unquote our fault that this is happening, because it's not our fault. Like recently, there was some story, something happened where someone was attacked or something, okay? And, you know, people try to blame the victim or other people, everybody but the person who fucking did it. And I use this example. You're a woman walking late at night, and you and I are both walking late at night, okay? I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to say, ooh, I'm going to get some of that and, you know, try to grab you or something. I'm not going to do that. You are welcome to pass freely by me, and I'm not going to do anything to you. Meanwhile, we know that there are some men who will do something to you. Hell, there are some women who will do something to you. There are women, let's not pretend like all women are innocent, because we absolutely are not. There are women who are a part of trafficking and all that stuff. But I would say the majority of the perpetrators are males, right? I think it's safe to still say that. So with that being said, a male perpetrator does something to you. Is it your fault? It is not your fault, because he should have kept his fucking hands to himself. Excuse my language. I curse a lot. I'm sorry, y'all. One day I'm going to get this out of my system. But as it were, that's probably why my videos don't get pushed more. Anyway, but as it were, he did something to you. He did not have to do something to you. He could have let you go on about your merry way. It is not your fault that something bad happened to you. But unfortunately, it is your burden if something bad happens to you. So that's why I tell the women in my life, who I'm close to, I'll sometimes tag a woman or something. I'll say, you know, hey, don't open the door for strangers. Don't get your gas at nighttime. Be mindful about going to the ATM. Just be careful, be careful, be careful, because I don't want you to end up being a statistic. And so, you know, but it's not your fault if you end up a statistic, because nobody should do anything to you. It is the fault of the person who did it, you know, in no uncertain terms. But I'm saying that right now, I do have this weird vibe that there are these frustrated, angry fucking men that are running around who will do anything but work on themselves. Like, you know, women are saying, hey, just be a better man. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. I'll do anything but that. I'd rather beat your ass or something. And it's like, okay, you know, I mean, not okay, but you know what I mean? This is what we're dealing with. And I'm just like, I'm exhausted with it. I don't know. But it's just something I've been wanting to vent about, you know, because I feel like the violence against women is increasing. When I say the violence, I mean random violence, especially when you consider all the damn cameras we've got and stuff. Like, we thought that was enough. Like, you know, who wants to do something and you know you're being filmed and that you will probably be prosecuted and thrown in prison for several years? These guys do. These guys don't give a F. You know, they will do it. You know, obviously there are men who are covering their faces and everything, but a lot of them are not. They're just brazenly doing horrible things. Sometimes you wonder the ones where it's a group of them. Like, you understand one person doing something awful, but you convinced a whole group to do some evil shit. But it definitely happens. No question, no doubt, this happens. And it's like, wow. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to be depressing here or anything, but I've had this theory for a while, and I've been wanting to say it, and I haven't said it yet. So I'm considered to be a very paranoid person by the people who know me. Like, they think I'm overly cautious, most of the people who know me. And I feel like the news is confirming that I'm right to be overly cautious. But as it were, I'm an overly cautious person by most of the people's standards who know me and everything, right? Or by the standards of most of the people who know me. Anyway, why I mention it though is because I realized, like, this woman who I was inspired by to make this video at this exact moment, the model who was attacked on the street, she was attacked in broad daylight. And women, a part of why we feel confident and comfortable going out into society and living our lives, especially without a man by our side. And again, that makes it sound like I'm saying you need to have a man or something. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying, like, you know, some of us feel more confident if we have a male next to us. Like, I'm going to say freely, there are places I do not feel comfortable going, such as Walmart, without my ex with me. Because he's like the main male, adult male in my life and stuff. And so I like to save trips to Walmart when I'm around him because he's a male, an adult male. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds weird, but if you've paid attention to all the crazy stuff that happens in these Walmart parking lots, you'll maybe be sympathetic to why I feel that way. But anyway, a lot of us only feel comfortable living our lives because we think that the criminals are afraid of daylight, and they're proving more and more they are not. They don't give a F that is daylight. They don't give a F about a camera. Sometimes they don't give a F if you're around people. Some of these people, they're just brazen. You know, we're like counting on them to be intimidated by those things. And so, oh, they wouldn't start trouble. Or if there are other men around, we think, you know, oh, like, they're not going to start any trouble because, you know, it's other guys who might take them. And if you're fortunate, you will be in the company of real men, what we think of as real men. But child, there are so many PUSSIES out there. It is unreal how many men are just not about that life of being a protector. Like, you're on your own. Like, you know, they will see somebody do something to you and they will just watch or avoid. They are not going to intervene. And if they do intervene, I love you for that. Like, if you're a guy, I don't even know you, but I love you for that. That means so much. If you will not let another man hurt someone, namely a woman and a woman or a child, and you stand up, thank you so much. You are appreciated. You're a fucking hero, bro. You really are. But just know that there's a lot who are not. And you're becoming a rare breed, which is sick and sad. But those kind of guys are becoming a rare breed, and I just, but yeah, I feel like if women understood like how unprotected we actually are in this society, a lot of us wouldn't go on living our lives the same way that we currently live our lives, and being fortunate enough to obviously not be a victim, thank God. But a lot of us wouldn't keep doing the things that we do if we understood how unprotected we really are in this society, you know? I live in a city, Houston, where it is common. It's like laughable. And I hate to put this out there, but it's kind of known. So it's like an open secret that you can commit a heinous, violent crime, and these low-life law enforcement people, and I'm not talking about the police officers, but I'm talking about the people who are like in the higher up position, will let these people go. They'll release them on bail and stuff. It's like this person was accused of killing someone or beating the mother of his child or doing whatever, and you guys are letting him out so that he can finish the job or do more. And again, these criminals, they are built different. They are not scared of SHIT, yo. I mean, that's me being hood, but I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I'm going to shut up after I say this because I'm just on a rant, but I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were actually talking about a woman. We were talking about a female. So we both know this woman. She happens to be Caucasian. And this woman has been given so many opportunities. It is unreal. She's a criminal and she keeps breaking the law. She keeps getting ankle bracelets because this girl does not know how to act. But she, that I know of, only got jail time one time. And that wasn't even her worst crime that she got jail for. The worst crime, she did it with a group of African-American men, and they let her ass go. But as far as I know, those fellers are in prison, okay? But they let her go, okay? Because they weren't going to prosecute this princess. And sidebar, I'm cool with all backgrounds. I'm pointing out a bias here, But it is what it is. Here's my point. Is that I was saying to this friend, I was like, it is crazy that this girl has not learned her lesson. She has had, I don't know how many doggone ankle bracelets in her young life, okay, monitors, ankle monitors, she's been to jail, and she refuses to do better. She refuses to do better. She's even a mother, and she just will not heed the warnings and change or anything. And it's just wild. And that's a woman, and I'm sorry, these men are freaking scary, the ones that are like this, that's a woman that I'm talking about. And there are men who are just as bad, actually worse. You know what I mean? And anyway, that's just end rant. I just want to say that, like, times are crazy. I want you guys to be safe and everything. And yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest. Like, every day I watch the freaking news, or even I'm not trying to watch the news, but a news story will pop up, or, someone's real life experience, like in the case of that lady, will pop up, and I'll just see like how dangerous it is, especially if you're a woman or a child in society, in the USA, and I'm sure across the world, but namely here, talking about here, because this is the only country I've ever lived in, But anyway, thank you for watching, and rant. Take care. Bye.